Hi guys, Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. Today we're going to look at records and more specifically repurposing them, because there's so many out there. If you look up eBay under the records category, there's millions of them. So there are some of course that are collectible and valuable, but ones like we have in here really aren't worth anything at all. I do sell records through my shop, and rock and roll stuff from the 60s and 70s and 80s sells okay. Some of the more current stuff sells well, but really a lot of this stuff, especially old waltzes and stage shows, and look, we've got some obscure stuff here. You can't even sell it for $1. In fact, what I end up with is this. Out the front of the shop, free records. And look, these ones have been out there for a couple of weeks, so they're not easy to get rid of. So what we're going to do here is repurpose them and basically make something that's useful. This bowl I've made, it could be handy on the table for sweets. It's just a bit quirky, and I've been selling these at $5 each fairly easily. So here's a quick and easy way to make them. These are vinyl ones. From the 1950s onwards, most records are vinyl, and they form quite easily into shapes when they get hot. Now, I'm right into zero waste, and I don't see the point of using energy, like putting them in the oven. And if you do a search on YouTube, there's people put them in boiling water, and yes, it works, but you're using energy to create something. I like to use free energy, so we're using the sun. Now today, it's been a pretty warm day out. The clouds have come over now, so things have stopped here. But I'll put them out in the hot sun. It was about 37, 38 degrees here today, so it's quite warm. On the old scale, that's about 100. So I've just sat this record on a pizza tray. Now the reason for the pegs is that it creates a ripple, an even ripple around the record, and it melted onto that, or went soft and formed that shape very quickly in the hot sun. Once it gets to that stage, I'll transfer it, and it's gone hard now because the clouds have come over, to a bowl. Now I'm just using a stainless steel kitchen bowl. You could use a saucepan or fry pan, but the rounded top really helps. And I would sit that on there, and when it's soft, simply use a weight. I've got an old cast iron weight from Scales here in the center, and when the sun was out before, that would sink straight in now, and these ripples created by the pegs will provide an area for the fold to happen. And if you don't do that, you'll find you'll get irregular shapes, or the weight will sink to one side. But this way we end up with a nicely formed bowl, a little bit irregular, but still relatively symmetrical, and that creates something that's quite useful. The weight will leave it with a flat base, so in a matter of 5 minutes we've turned a record that I couldn't sell into something that I could easily get $5 for. Hasn't taken any time, hasn't taken any energy. Now once you get back to earlier times, the records were made back in the 78 era. They weren't vinyl, they were made from a shellac based compound, and that performs a little bit differently. They'll still soften in the sun, and the black of records of course absorbs the heat, so they soften fairly quickly, but it won't get as soft as vinyl. Now what we have, if we put a weight on it, we'll get a crinkly type effect. You have to be more careful and more patient with these. The pegs won't work because they don't get that soft. So simply what I would do is find a suitable sized bowl. This one's probably a little bit large for these 78s. Might work. And put the weight, soften it a bit first and put the weight in the center. You need to be fairly careful because these are quite brittle, these old shellac records. And I would leave that in the sun, and gradually it will sink and you'll get that crinkling effect. But it's a bit of a trial and error. I have broken a few of the 78s because they are more brittle. But look, have a bit of fun. It's free energy, as I said, using the sun. Put a hat on because when it's 38 or 100 outside, it's pretty warm. It won't hurt to use gloves as well because the records, being black, do get very hot. And it's a great way to upcycle something that I was struggling to give away, and a lot of people end up throwing them out, into a couple of bowls here that are quirky and they sell well in the shop. So there's your latest upcycling project. get out and give it a try. Records are easy to find. You find them at garage sales all the time. And I hope you like this idea. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you like all these ideas. And if you have any other ideas about what to do with things that have been discarded and you don't really want to put them into landfill, send us a message and we'll see what we can investigate. Bye for now.